Hey, welcome back to the Marketer's Toolkit in the Spotlight series. I'm Virginia Schauer, and I have to tell you, I am so excited because very soon I'm bringing our very own founder and CEO on the show to talk to you about some very cool new features coming out. I want to tell you now, but no, it will be so much better when Tom tells you. So you're not going to want to miss that one. But today I'm bringing you something a little different. Back in 2025, I sat down with Mike Copeland. And honestly, this conversation has stuck with me. Mike is one of those people who just had lived inside the toolkit. He ran our community Q&A calls for a long time, and he just has this gift for taking complex tech and making it genuinely usable for real people in the field. So I went back through the interview recently and pulled out one of my favorite segments because what Mike walks through here is something I think a lot of toolkit users are still sleeping on. What he's talking about are contact buttons and specifically how he built what he calls a super button. It's one quick action button that replaces like dozens of clicks and puts the power of your entire CRM workflow right at your fingertips. So whether you're at your desk or out in the field on your phone, if you've ever thought that there has to be a faster way to get to this place or this place in HighLevel, this is your answer and you're going to want to listen. So hey, even if this gets your wheels turning and you want to dig deeper, those Q&A calls are still happening. Chris now hosts them every Friday at noon Central Time. So all you do if you want to catch those Friday calls is to go over into the Marketer's Toolkit for Go HighLevel Facebook group. You can grab the Zoom link and get right inside the group. Also, if you'd like to get on with me for an optimization call where we look at your entire system and see what is underutilized, please hop on with me and you'll see the link in our show notes. So without further ado, here is Mike Copeland.
Now I'm consolidating it into a singular button. So in this case, we have, let's say we want to log an interaction, outcome of the interaction, we can add notes, do all that kind of stuff. We could follow up. So I could choose the follow-up date, right? And then we could put in a personalized message. So this is like sending a text later, but it's going to be enrolled in a workflow that's going to continue to follow up with someone. We could disqualify a contact, maybe a disqualification reason, right? And so maybe they were low credit, right? Again, this was kind of more solar oriented. But what's so cool about this is I can deploy this quick action button across 100 different accounts, and they can all have different actions based on their business, their industry, even in their particular business in that industry. So what my clients can do, so I'll show you the setup on the back end. Go back to the customizer and go to this little button. So there's custom values that can be passed through these buttons. So what I have is custom values domain, and then it's /quick action. And then we're locking it to the contact because we don't want to overwrite the contact details with somebody else. We're actually passing like the contact ID through it, and we're doing it through the API. This is going to automatically pull in like all the custom fields you can imagine for that contact there. And I'm opening it up inside a pop-up window, right? So that's what this is. Now, you can also adjust the size and the colors. You can add your tooltips and all that. But because I'm giving it through a custom value, and this is going to be a funnel page in that system, I'll show you what we did for this button. So, and also I'm going to talk about this in a moment as well. So in here in sites, this is the site that I have that's in that custom value. And then destination was that quick action. So I'm not linking the form directly into the button. I'm linking it through a page, a custom value page that can now be changed at that level. And so here you can see all the stuff there on that page. So the form, so again, we're replacing a lot of these forms, a referral form, review request, anything that you could think of that you would ever want to click for your contact, we're replacing in one button. So this, I was just running a test. So this actually didn't pass through. I'm going to see if I can do some JavaScript or something that will pull that information through. But in here, you'll see this was not available until sometime last year. Conditional logic. I don't know if many people know about conditional logic. Yeah, really cool update. So on the one hand, I was kind of kicking myself. I was like, I wish I had thought about this sooner. But then I realized like, oh, actually conditional logic only came out a few months prior to this thought process. So I was like, I didn't, it was nice to know that like, oh, this was something that was enabled last year in 2024, I think, for these sort of things. So what we're doing, so let's say if it was disqualify, then I'm just going to click show multiple. Now I could actually hide, like for a lot of those, I don't necessarily need to have it show all the contact information, but I do have it show there just so you can see and maybe update those as well. But so if it's disqualify, I have it for that. If it's for sales, I can do this. I can show ads tier. So this was an interesting, the reason why I did this one as an example here. So you see ads tier 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
If I was to go into a contact right now on the web app, so actually let's look at this real quick. Actually, we'll look at this as an example. I'll stay on this page. I don't want to get too diverted, but all these fields, basically, you just use the conditional logic. So you only need to show what needs to happen for that particular thing. So disqualify only needs to show if you have it selected as disqualify. So here's the quick actions here. Now, if my client wants to add their own, if I'm giving them, if they're a done for you, a do it yourself or a done with you type client, I may just tell them like, oh, go here and you can add your own option, right? So they can just go and type in their option right here. And now they have a whole nother disposition or option event that can happen from this button. They can just go and program theirs here, right? So it's really that simple. They can just add all the different things that they want to have. Now, this is actually editing the custom field. So now we actually have to go and click the delete button. I thought I could just get the trash can there, but we got to confirm it. But yeah, it's just that simple to add in other events, other actions that you want to have happen when this button is used.
That's great.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So now the other cool thing about just the contact buttons in general, usually forms are something that a customer would be using, right? You would send them the form and they fill out this. So we're using forms for HighLevel as an internal system for these clients, just right on their contact record. So when I'm in this conversation, right, like they're not the ones clicking this button. I'm clicking it for this person doing these different actions for them, right?
Right.
So let's pretend this person said, yeah, I want to get your ad management package. And it was like that highest tier. So maybe it's like tier number 3 or whatever. So they're going to spend, $50,000 a month in ads with us, and we're going to charge them $10,000 to manage it or something like that. So I could just click this and hit submit. And then what can happen is we can send them the invoice. We can send them the contract. We can do all these different things just by clicking, one button here, choosing the one action that we want, choosing the one package, and then hitting submit. So I could just do that, close the window, and then everything's done for that contact. Let's look at the alternative if we didn't have this button. So first, how do we go and send a contract, right? So that we could go and look at, like, there's notes. If we click here, there you'll see documents. If we want to add a document, all this is a file upload. This is not contracts. Right. So what you actually do is you have to go down to payments, which is not labeled as documents. It's not labeled as contracts. You got to go to payments to then send out a document. You need to have a template, but if you didn't have a template, so you'd have to click, let's say we did have a template here. Then you need to go and put in, the variables, all this other stuff. So you could have this template ready to go, but even if you have the template, you're talking about somebody that maybe doesn't even use HighLevel. Maybe they were using a different system. They're not techie. They're not someone that lives and breathes HighLevel. They're just a real estate agent. And now they're having to learn how to set up all this stuff and do all these things by this, I think I counted, and it was a minimum of 12 clicks to send out a ready to go template to somebody if they were interested. So a very complicated process where instead the alternative is we just have a couple clicks of the button and nobody has to know how to do anything technical.
Right.
So that's what's so cool about this quick action button. So in order for that to actually work, what you can do in the automation side, and I think I do have the workflow in here. Let's see what our follow-up looks like.
Like send proposal or
Scheduled follow-up task.
follow-up.
So I have this one. It's this form is, load for it. Should be loading up the right one. We'll click off. Maybe it's, but basically it would, I'll just do the form. All right. So form submitted would be the quick action. And then what I would do is I would just say the quick action is follow-up. And then now I can have whatever my follow-up workflow is. So it's that simple to just have this form. So I can do another, so maybe the other one was like to send the contract. I could have form is quick action and the quick action is send contract. And that could create a different thing. So just having the filter here can change basically which form. The alternative is like you have this form submitted or that form submitted and so on and so on. We can use the same form and just say additional filter that didn't say what that, basically what the form was used for.
That's great.
Yeah. Now, what's really cool, because when you have the Marketer's Toolkit, it's like, it's amazing. You can do all these fun things. But I was also thinking like, well, what about all the field reps? So remember, my background is in solar, and there's people that are, they're knocking doors or they're out in the field, they're in-home appointments and stuff. And so they're like, Mike, this is great, but we're not always at the desk. We're not always at the computer, and we don't want to have to go and be on the computer for an hour and try to remember all those things to make these things happen. So what I did is I actually created in the contact area, I created a custom field that was quick action portal. And I took the same link that I had. This is actually done through an automation to pass the contact ID. And so when this opens up in a new tab, it'll be this. But you can do that in the phone, in the mobile app, which I'm going to see if I can, wish I could show this to you. I don't think I'm logged in on the mobile app. So, but maybe I can pull it up. But anyway, so right on the mobile app, when you go into the contact area, there'd be contact. And so you click contact, and then it would show this quick action. And you can literally click it. It will open up the link within the lead connector HighLevel app. And so you can take all those same actions right in the mobile phone. So again, it's already 10 plus clicks to send a contract from the actual web app if you're at your computer. But if you're a real estate agent and someone says, this is great, I want to send whatever, sign me up or whatever, the real estate agent could go in and pick whatever the document is right on his phone after a showing and go ahead and send them whatever it is. So that's a really, really impactful tool. So kind of taking the same things that we can do with the Marketer's Toolkit and kind of making it work in the mobile app was been a fun aha moment for me that it's been really helpful for people that have field agents or other things.
Yeah, that's so cool and such a time saver.
Yeah, absolutely. So
That's
yeah, that's what some of the coolest things I've done, and something I think people are sleeping on a little bit is Tom's buttons and all those stuff.
yeah. Josh Satterly actually was our last interview, and he said that you were the expert in that and that he had come a long way just in the past couple of weeks working with you on that.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that's actually funny. As I mentioned his name, but yeah, it's kind of funny. I didn't know you just interviewed him. So he was
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
that
he
was
was.
the video taken down because of information. So like the last one, we just had someone that they're making their own dashboard, right? So Tom and Chris put together some really awesome pages where if you can change. So in the customizer, you can change the destination for the dashboard or the launch pad, and you can have basically your own. And so you can show the information that you want. You can still have it run metrics for that account, but you can also have it show like this is our upcoming support calls or these other functions there. And so people are asking for, how do we make changes to this and other stuff there. So the dashboards, contact buttons, the UI, there's all these all these little tiny nuggets. Quick editor actually was one that I showed someone on Wednesday, which hopefully, I mean, that thing is such an amazing tool.
Yeah. We got it back up and working, so it works really well.
Yeah. So yeah, probably the quick editor is probably one of the things that majority of even Marketer's Toolkit customers don't even know about, and it's such a major time saver and just a really awesome tool. So I don't know if we already have another resource, but yeah, just quick editor. You can look at it. I think I did put something in the Facebook group and talking about it, kind of showing some of the features there.
And that is exactly where you'll find it. If you're not already a member of our Marketers Toolkit for Go High Level Facebook group, go get in there. That's where the community lives. That's where resources like what Mike just mentioned get shared. And that's where you'll find the Zoom link to join Chris every Friday at noon Central for our live Q&A calls. So stay close because like I mentioned at the top, I've got something really exciting coming up. Our very own CEO is going to be joining me right here on the Spotlight series to walk through some brand new features. And trust me, you're going to want to be one of the first to hear about it. So if this episode gave you an aha moment, share it with someone in your world who's grinding through too many clicks and Go High Level. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Virginia Schauer, and I'll see you on the next one.